All right, what's going on, guys? Tyler Santiago here. Santiago Sports Podcast number 2. I'm with
Casey Santiago, Casey.
And our special guest today.
What's up, guys? I'm David Blutzstein, otherwise known as Extraordinary Cards on Instagram. So, Tyler, thank you for having me. Casey,
Sure
thank
thing.
you as well.
Thanks for hopping on.
Yeah, today we have a few things to talk about, but before we do that, I got to shout out our sponsors. Shout out to COLLX, the COLLX App, who just purchased another app that's going to make their own app even better. What COLLX does exactly is you take a card, you scan it. They have a whole database of just about every card in existence. The little delayed on the new products that are coming out right now. So, like, for example, we got Optic Contenders, which just released today.
Just got our case.
So check back next week to see if you can scan an Optic Contenders card and see if it shows up. It'll show you the value of the card, what they're selling for, what they sold for in the past. And, COLLX is a very cool app. I've started to use it. We still have to do a demo. We have to do some on Obsidian, and we'll do some on Optic Contenders.
Demo next time for sure.
Shout out to COLLX. They'll be at the National. Check out their app. Go download it. It's on the App Store. You can find it anywhere. Follow them on Instagram. And our other sponsor, Wager Attack. Wager Attack, Louis, great dude.
Great team.
They're a sports book. You have to be, obviously, 18 and older to use them. You can use them from about anywhere in the world as long as you have a phone in your hand. You can place a bet, and that's about it. So if you sign up, let us know. We're gonna get you something. So shout out to Wager Attack, Sportsbook. Other than that, I guess we'll get right into it. So, David, to the left of me, Extraordinary Cards, been on Instagram a while. When did you first get on Instagram for cards?
So, I got into cards in 2015, and I think I started my Instagram like August 2015, maybe like September 2015. It's been like, which is wild to say, like 7 years.
You know, you could check that now.
I know. It's either 2015 or 2016. I'll double check, but like it's been 5, 6 years, 7 years, which is.
I got a question for you about Instagram because you're the kind of guy that you go back and refresh your page. You delete all the shit you don't have.
Yep.
You post the new stuff.
Yep.
And then you let people know that.
Yep.
So I want to ask you, why do you do that? And how many posts do you think you have up right now total?
I think right now it's about 60. The reason why I do that is...
We have like fucking 9,000.
Well, yeah, that's the thing too. Is like there's two styles of doing Instagram. Either just like, fuck it, put everything on the wall, whatever happens, happens. Or where I've kind of tried to do it is like organizing myself. So I'm not the most organized person. So like I post incoming
Seem
posts.
pretty organized.
Somewhat. So like I do the incoming posts not only because like it makes me, grow my following and like it's cool stuff, but so I don't forget my stuff.
It's good to document it.
It is good to document it. Instagram is
Potential deal before you even get the card too.
I don't really like to do that.
I don't either, but
Like, my worst fear, honestly, is selling a card I don't have in hand, and then, like, it being moved to another guy, and he moves it to another guy. And, if it's a week later, there's 5 deals I've screwed up because,
True.
It's unfortunate.
You gotta have the card to make the deal, 100%.
If it's
it's
someone
so
I've-
much safer.
If it's someone I've dealt with before, I'll consider it.
Yeah.
But most of the time, I do wait until items are in hand. And I like to keep it organized in that way because it just makes my life easier.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, what do you have available? Oh, well, just check the page. It's mostly updated. There's a show coming up. I know what to bring. After the show, maybe an hour or two just cleaning it up. But I just got into the habit of doing it, and it's worked for me. But there's, 2 different styles. Either everything's on the page from 2014 on, or however long since you started Instagram, or you just keep it updated.
I just keep it on there. I mean, you always get people that will comment on a post sometimes from like
Oh my God.
months ago, like, oh, you still have it? And like, probably not. It's pretty simple. But moving on that, I wanted to ask you, so you don't really like to post stuff. You like to post stuff that you have coming in, but you don't like to necessarily make a deal on it until you have it in hand.
Yeah.
So one thing that I think about, and I want to talk about pet peeves in the hobby.
Yeah.
You
Good at that one.
You love going off on Instagram on people.
Very
But
fun.
one of my pet peeves, and I want to see how you both feel on this. I've just been taught by my dad. But when you go to a show and you buy stuff from, someone else's table, it's on their table, you buy it and then you immediately put it back into your showcase. I don't like that. I think that's I just don't think that's really cool. Like, you can wait a fucking day to take it home, post it on eBay, whatever you want. I personally don't like that. I'm just curious how you feel.
I get it. I think you're right. What I'll generally do is, whenever I finish up a show, take a picture of my new stuff for that day. And if I do want to leave in the showcase for the next day, I will price it, in my hotel room or at home or whatever. And yeah, it could be in the showcase the next day. The only way I would put stuff out the same day is if it was like a trade or someone came to my table and like I bought something or you know, got some items from them and I would put it in the showcase. But no, I don't think that's cool to buy something at a show.
I think it's like
It's kind of
etiquette, like card show etiquette, like I don't know, like people like don't think that exists, but it does. And we talked about it last week. Like people really don't know how to like talk to each other.
No.
Or like you'll get a swipe up and be like, no trades for trade.
Yeah.
Like
Read the room. Read the
so
room.
funny
please,
that you
yeah.
mentioned that. Yesterday, it might still be on my Instagram story as of right now, but there was a post I put up, some new stuff I had. All right, yeah, it's like 6 random cards, and I got a random DM like, oh, hey, do you still have like this Bane card? I'm like, wait, what are you talking about? Like, there's no Bane in this picture. And then he's like, oh, hey, are they gradable? I'm like, no, they're PSA 9s. Like, what are you talking about?
Those are the 2 most common questions I feel like I get. You know, I mean, we've had people in the live sale, they'll come in and be like, oh, it'll be already graded PSA 10.
Yep.
Oh, it doesn't look centered. I'm
Fuck
like,
do you
it's
want me to
already
do?
graded. Like, you're complaining about a card. Like, even when the cards are already graded, we've gotten complaints. So it's like,
Dude, I
know,
don't
where do
get
you
it.
win?
And I'm sure you deal with this a lot more than I do because, like, you have what, 45,000 followers on Instagram.
just hit 34.
Okay, whatever. You know, it's double the size I have, which is incredible. Like, good power to you. And you have 9,000 posts, and like you're a shop, so like you probably get 5 times the DMs that I get a day. And I deal with like 25 to 30 like random messages throughout it. Like, it drives me nuts. Like,
Yeah,
I can't imagine for you it's any better.
We get so I like how Instagram added, I don't even know how long ago, I want to say at least a year, maybe 2.
Yeah.
They added to where it's message requests if you're not following them, so you don't get like unsolicited shit.
Yep.
Which you still do, but like you don't see it unless you go to look for it.
Yeah.
So I like that. But yeah, we get a lot of, I try to answer everyone, but if you ask me a stupid question, I'm gonna delete your message and not answer. Especially if it's, like I said, along the lines of, all right, if I say firm on a card and they're like, oh, would you do this? I'm like, dude, you're not reading firm. I just can't do that.
I mean, I don't know. I play favorites. I don't know about you. Like, if it's someone who I've dealt with like 5, 6, 7
Yeah,
times.
of course.
Yeah, okay. So,
But if it's in the message request, it's usually someone I've never talked to before. Or I'll look at their page and be like, all right, this guy's like obviously full of shit. Like some guy swiped up today. I posted the Anthony Edwards BGS 9.5 green fluorescent to 10.
Sick.
I put taking offers on it. I put it up yesterday for 5K, but now I put taking offers just to see.
Yep.
Kid swipes up and goes 11K. I'm like, dude, you're fucking trolling me. Like, get out of here.
I mean, yeah, sure.
It's
Just
funny.
you know, send that PayPal.
Yeah,
over.
send it over, buddy.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's fun. But speaking about like pet peeves and stuff, like I said, you like to go off. What is? I'll ask you.
Okay.
There's 2 parts. Two
Yeah,
parts. So biggest pet peeve at a card show.
Yep.
And then biggest pet peeve on Instagram.
Pet peeve at a card show. I don't even want to say it's like people price checking like stuff because I think it's important. You know, my mentality on pricing cards at shows. I'm going to a tangent, but like I'm going to answer your question. Is sticker price doesn't necessarily matter because no matter what, people are going to go up there. They're going to check alt. They're going to check eBay. It doesn't matter. The sticker price is there simply so that I don't get asked 10 times, hey, what's that Tom Brady worth?
Yeah.
What's a LeBron worth? Whatever. The biggest pet peeve is someone who like negs you. Do you know what negging is?
Yeah.
Okay. So for people who don't know, negging is actually a dating advice thing where you negatively talk to a woman or a guy if you're into that and try to get them to like feel guilty or bad about themselves. So
I hate that.
Well, women, cards, whatever. When someone's like, oh yeah, you know, this card looks like shit, you know, it's off center, you know.
Why do you want it?
Yeah, exactly. So like, why are you gonna do that? Like, it's just like a weird like. It really just drives me crazy. Like,
I mean, I've had people come up to my table and it's like, you know, they'll have stuff for sale. And, I mean, the worst is like, even when you go to a table, bring up to you or go to a table, like you said, cards should be priced. You don't want to look like you don't know what the hell you have.
Yep.
There's like, oh, you asked about the Wander Franco auto. Oh, let me go check it out. All right, cool, that's fine. How much is the Juan Soto auto?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me check. And then it's like, all right, do you know what you have? And then it more or less makes you look a little less prepared. So like, you should know what your cards are worth. Like, I might not have stickers on my cards, but I have a pretty good idea of
what they're worth.
what they're worth.
That's what I do.
It's important.
I don't price every single card in my showcase because most of the show cards I have, they sit in my case and I don't really put them out here.
Which makes
like
sense.
I have different cards for different avenues of like where we sell.
Yeah.
But like the high end stuff, it fluctuates a lot, and you price your stuff like what, the day before or a couple days leading up to a show
It'll
for the most
depend.
part?
If there's a lot of shows coming up, I'll price them before. But it also doesn't matter. No one's ever going to pay sticker price on a card unless it's for two reasons. You fucked up,
Super underpriced.
or they fucked up.
Yeah.
Yup,
And that's
yeah.
not the nicest way to say it, but it's true. A sticker price is just there as a conversation starter.
Yeah.
And if anyone ever pays sticker for any card, I don't care who you are, you made a mistake in pricing it, or they made a mistake in buying
But
it.
also, you can't be ready to be like, a guy has a sticker price. Like, you can't be offended by that. As you know, if like a card's the sticker price is
Why
a
is it
talking
so
starter,
much?
Why
Yeah.
is it so much?
Why does it fucking matter?
Say you're asking 3, even like just a little bit over what they're selling for.
Yep.
You got to start there sometimes because you're gonna, like you said, you're gonna get that mouth talk. You're gonna get attacked with words all the time.
Yep.
And be like, oh, this card's off center. This card's blah blah blah. So and so complains about the card.
And-
Like you said, why do you want the card? Like, here I am. This is why I'm asking what I'm asking. And
It's so interesting too, because like you were talking about how I keep my page organized with prices. Dude, my prices don't matter. Like no matter what, I'll get a DM like, "Why is your card so overpriced?" Yeah, I priced it 6 weeks ago, man.
You know
I'm
what
not-
else doesn't matter?
I'm not going
though?
back and pricing my stuff.
I think you'll
Everything's
agree to
down.
this. Comps. So say you have a card numbered to 5,
Yep.
right? And the 1 out of 5 that sold on eBay was 3 months ago, and this guy's taken off since.
The Judge.
How much? Yeah, perfect example. A Judge auto we have out of 5.
Yep.
Before the season started, it was selling around 450, but there was no comps because it's a red. There's only so often they
Good.
pop up, and he brings up the comp from before the season, and then it's like, oh, it just sold for this, and it's like, dude,
Didn't just sell for that.
Like, I understand what it sold for. That's the only one that sold.
Yeah.
Scarcity is the most important thing in the hobby. If the card's rare, and it sold again even a week ago
Yep.
for 20, let's just say 2,000, right? Fair number. Random card sold for 2,000 a week ago.
Release
but it's
date.
so rare. It's in demand. The guy's having the best season of his
It
life.
should go up.
It should go up.
Yeah.
And if
Logic.
if I'm asking more, all right, go get another one.
Yeah, I mean that's
So
exactly.
that's how I
Supply and
view it.
demand. I feel like
Supply and demand is a thing. Yeah.
I deal with a lot of people who don't understand capitalism.
Yep.
Like, dude, I'm not trying to take all your money, but if someone is willing to pay a price for a card and they willingly pay it, hop the fuck off. That's how it is. Also, people don't realize, like, you see a price, they get deterred right away. I get that, but some people are like, all right, maybe I'll talk to the guy
Yep.
and get it down. But people don't realize, like, the art of negotiating. And you love
I do love
negotiating.
negotiating,
Like, it's fun. It's its whole own thing in and of itself.
It
and
is a skill too.
it
It's a skill.
is. It is. And I want to go back on to what you said about, like, you go to a guy's table, you ask him for prices, and he literally comps the card in front of you.
It's ridiculous.
Like, I think that's ridiculous. And one thing that I love, like I said, I don't really price the cards I put in the showcase.
Yep.
Because I know every single card. If you ask me, people are like, oh, how the hell do you know? Like, they'll ask me about, like, 3 cards, 4 cards. Like, how do you know all that? Like, dude, I remember. Like, it's pretty simple. But it annoys me, too, when I walk up to a guy, and he has to look up every single card he has. And
it
it's
just
like,
slows the deal down for me.
holy
Like,
fuck.
not that it just slows it down, but you want to make, like, for me, there's only so many
Time
hours
is
in a
money,
show.
too.
Time is money.
Dude, time is.
And if it takes me 45 minutes to make a deal with you, honestly, if I'm being totally honest, I'm less likely to make a deal with you last
Yeah.
time. The next time, I should say, because I mean, I want to make a deal, but I also don't want to be sitting here and like feel like I'm not harassing you, or you're just like, just nonstop talking. Like, let's get the deal done. That's what you're there
And at
for.
a certain point, I just like tell people, like, when they come in here, and like, I got one guy that comes in, I buy stuff from all the time. Like, dude, like, can we not look up or like go every card, like card by card? Like, just give me, like, we'll ballpark this shit. We'll put everything in, like, if it's low end stuff, put it in a stack. Give me a price for a stack. We'll go from there.
Yeah.
Like, just save everyone time. Because you really care about the $2 cards? No, you don't. Like, it's pretty simple.
Well, that's such an interesting point too. Is that, like, I've realized as time has gone on, and Casey, we were talking about this before the podcast. As I've kind of leveled up my collection into more higher end, I've been in this now for 7-8 years. I've been on Instagram for 5 or 6 or 7 or whatever. My card variety has changed significantly. Where I remember,
Big time.
I remember, dude, doing like $500 deals. I'm like, man, this is the fucking best.
Yeah,
I remember sitting in my
right?
college dorm room, like buying like a 7-card lot for $3,000. I'm like, I can't believe I spent all my money.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
now, thankfully, in 2022, I'm like, all right, that's just the normal day of the office.
Yeah.
Like, what I've realized is that there is such a $20 card is gonna be a $20 card forever.
Of course.
You have to be willing to take risk, and you have to be willing to step up to the new opportunities that
Put
are
the
out
money
there.
on the table.
Yeah, listen, this is such an interesting time in the card market because, economically there is probably a recession going on. We're just starting to see it now, and people have
course.
panicked so hard
Brutal.
that everything is dropping. There's weekly auctions that are going that keep on going lower.
Yeah.
People are like liquidating their collections. There was a deal I did with a guy yesterday. I met him here at the shop. We did a deal for Ronnie Mauricio.
Was it Robbie?
Yeah.
Oh, Rob.
It was Rob's
Rob Cam cards.
Yeah.
Good kid. Good kid.
He's very nice. I really like him. We made a deal 3 days ago for a card at $13 value. One sold yesterday for $700. I gave him back $200 in the deal because I felt bad. I'm like, hey man, I'm sorry. Like this sucks. I feel bad. I would.
That's really nice
But
of you.
like one thing with cards, so it's not a
I didn't have to
guarantee.
do it say for the podcast. Like I'm saying that like
no. Like
yeah.
that's.
yeah, I felt guilty. So
Yeah. But stuff like that though,
Can't.
it easily could have went up.
yeah,
And the same thing, like
been
it is
playing
what it
well.
is. Like yeah, he's playing well. That's a whole different ballpark. That's a whole different discussion for another day. I mean, we've talked about it in the first podcast a little bit, but prospecting is its own self. Like, I mean, I remember when I had a Francisco Alvarez PSA 10 base auto.
Yep.
And you know, the guy was going off. He had a little down spell, but it was around 500 at the time. Don't quote me on this, but like he had like 7 home runs in his last 10 days or games or whatever it was.
And they're down.
And you know, now they're like probably like 650, 700. So like, as easily as it could have went up if he struggled,
Yep.
he started to hit again and it went up. So like, there's the valleys, you know, and if things go up, things go down. It is what it is.
It's amazing that with everything being down these days, like I've really stepped into like the low rarity, low pop cards that are very difficult to find, as well as base. I'm going back to base cards now these days because you know I recently bought like 7 LeBron James 221 PSA 9s, like 500, 550 each. Bought them for under eBay because my mentality is if I sell those for 85%, 90% of eBay comps, you know, I'll make my money back, or if I trade those or get something rarer, like it's just another step in the process of liquidating a card that might not be as movable these days. Because people might not want to spend $10K on a card.
Well, also, I thought another factor for cards that I think is really cool, not just the collectability aspect of the card, the iconicness of the card.
Yep.
Like for me, like there's cards that I can eye out, like cards that come out recently, and you're just like, wow. Every so once in a while, there's a card that comes out. There's a set that comes out that you just know is going to go up over time.
Yep.
Like that 86, you know, the Jordan rookie. That's iconic. You know,
Gone down,
even
though.
There's so many
even
of
if it
them.
went down, but it's still iconic. Like it's so, like what's the word? Synonymous with Jordan.
Yep.
That like you just know.
It's literally Jordan.
Yeah, it's,
I mean, yeah.
it's Jordan. You know, like but like that's his best card.
But those are basically cash too, which is great.
Exactly, it's liquid. Like it's stuff like that. Like I mean, even the LeBron and Prism last year, like you know, it's the Kobe tribute or whatever you want to call it. You
Yeah.
remember
Yeah.
what they were selling for at release?
Yeah, those were.
And it was nuts. But even then, down the line, I could see 10 years from now, even the early Kobe's with him guarding LeBron. That's iconic.
I mean, the early LeBron.
Yeah, or the
2007,
earliest
2008.
LeBron, the
Yeah.
06s, the 07s. There's a reason those refractors sell for so high. Because honestly, I think the biggest problem with Panini, I don't want to... The picture quality, I feel like it's gone down. Like they use less quality pictures. Like back in the day, like I said, the Kobe guarding Jordan.
Yep.
Or no,
They don't really
Kobe
have.
guarding LeBron.
They don't
like,
really have too many products that embody the cards anymore. And I think they're coming out with one. I think it's like I forget
I
what
know
it's
you're talking
called.
about too.
Like I don't know, something.
You know what's a great
photo,
product that's cheap?
Photogenics or
Stadium
something?
Yeah,
Club Chrome.
photo like that.
You know about Stadium Club?
Stadium Club
It's
Chrome
so
is dope.
cheap, and the cards are beautiful. It's
Yep.
like everyone's like a portrait. It's like a perfect picture of the card.
Well, it's an action shot. It's not a portrait.
Well,
that's
yeah.
like gallery.
All right, but still, like I'm
understand
just
what you're
saying,
saying.
like it's still it's well thought out. The design is perfect,
Mm-hmm.
and people don't like them. And I'm like, damn, from an artistic, standpoint, I thought those cards were great.
I mean, I think you're right about that, but we're also letting Panini, and I guess Topps in a way too, get away with like practice jersey shots and like very
Yeah.
bad photoshops of.
Especially when shit's coming out a year later than it's supposed
Oh
to.
my
don't
god!
even- don't
and the
even get me
guy's still
started
not
on
in his
that.
newest jersey. You
That's
know,
It
brutal.
is so embarrassing
Yeah.
that like we are what the NBA draft is tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
And
2020 Prism from last year still is not out. Cade Cunningham does not have a Prism card.
Kenny
Or-
Pickett's not going to have
or
a rookie for a
Flawless.
while.
flawless NT. I don't know if Immaculate's out. I have no idea what's actually out. anymore.
Immaculate what?
NT
Basketball?
Immaculate's
basketball, yeah.
Immaculate's not out.
Dude, like
And-
those are the best products for this rookie class of basketball players,
And they're not out.
And we're at the draft tomorrow. Like, what the fuck are we doing here?
It's crazy.
Dude, Prism Basketball's still not out.
I know we just said that too. It comes
just
out
said.
Prism
next week or
basketball.
something like that.
Yeah,
so.
and that's one of the biggest products of the season.
Yeah, if you were a big Cade Cunningham believer before the season, the best product you could have gotten was maybe, oh god,
Prism Collegiate.
yeah, oh god,
And
yeah,
those
really
are
rough.
Hoops.
rough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they don't sell. It's just so crazy to me that like
That's why the contenders craze was crazy.
I
'Cause
know.
It was their best card.
I don't know if you want to blame COVID. I don't know if you want to blame just Panini being bad at their like job
It's
or
Panini.
or
It's
both?
supply shortage, factory. Because Panini. So fun fact: Topps and Panini use the same factory to
Yep.
print cards, and it's also not too far from where the Dallas Card Show is.
That's funny.
So it's pretty cool, and I don't know. Topps has been a little better with being on time, and we're still not direct, but in the coming weeks, apparently we're going to be direct with both of them.
Sick.
So I'm fucking waiting on that.
Fingers
So
crossed.
shout out
That'd be cool.
Topps and Panini, but like should have happened quicker, but I still appreciate it. I don't know. I'm just excited to see what comes out because I don't know like what these cards are going to do. So like Prism NFL, for example.
Yep.
The retail's not even where it was last year, and they don't even put autos in it. In any of the retail this year, which is weird. So
that
you still got
sucks.
the similar parallels, nothing numbered, no autos. But Hobby came out, and it's still very late, but it still has all the autos and stuff, which is great. And it kind of came out and went up a little bit. Now it's kind of plateaued, and I expect it to go down a little bit. But then like 2020, I expect it to go up. And obviously, I don't think the quarterbacks are the same caliber as they were in 2020.
It only
But
takes a couple good games,
there's
though.
still 4 or 5. There's like 5 or 6 quarterbacks that could potentially do something, and you never know.
No, you never do. The interesting thing is that, dude, I'm okay with there being a bad draft class for NFL if it only means that Panini like gets on their schedule, because there is so much white noise in this hobby right now that like if there were 5 or 6 products, if it was Prism, Contenders, Optic, Flawless, NT, and Immaculate, I think we'd be better off than like 30, 40 different products because, oh man, you know, there's certain sets I like from like Noir or Impeccable, but like those don't carry a product. You don't need 3 different kinds of hoops or
Premium hoops.
yeah,
stocks,
premium
like
stock
premium
hoops,
stock, it's
China,
nuts.
China parallel,
Yeah.
first off the line exclusive. Like we don't need this garbage anymore. One of the things I really learned that I took advantage of years ago was just like ignoring the noise. You
The
know,
release day hype is legit.
Oh,
It's supply and
incredible.
demand too. It's simple economics as well.
I know.
I mean, just like we were talking about with comps and stuff, same thing with wax. The more and more wax that comes out, the more and more people are going to have, and the value is just going to go down. And that's what I'm kind of worried with like some of these products. Like,
It's
what
bad.
is really going to happen to like the market with wax and some of like so Panini and Topps now are direct with a lot of these athletes and put them out and everything. But like, how really rare is a Mac Jones rookie auto?
It's not.
Like, you
You
know,
gotta factor in how many products he's in.
exactly.
you know.
I don't know what the numbers are anymore, but I know that there have been like breakdowns of the parallels every year for like Prism football.
Go
It's
like
going up,
every year.
up,
Yeah,
up.
and people are paying more and more money for it, which, you know, if this next NFL draft class is pretty bad, if Pickett's a bust, if Malik Willis doesn't turn into anything, like
Well, even that, if that's the case, there's one quarterback in the first 2 rounds.
I
How
know.
can you set this premium price?
because they're going
for
to
Prism?
anyway. Because it's
There's going to be no chasers. There's going to be
Like,
one chaser.
I'm more
arguably.
concerned about NT.
Yeah.
Like NT dropped. It was like $5K a box at release. NT football.
Yep.
Went down to like 4. And now I know I could buy them for like 33 to 3,500.
you're not gonna, but you can't make your money back on that. If you were someone who's gonna rip that box, let's say you're like some rich kid, you want to rip a box of NT,
You're almost guaranteed to lose
You're gonna
money.
get
on
fucked.
No,
it.
you're gonna lose money. You
Yeah,
have
like-
to hit either Mac Jones, Shore RPA, Trevor Lawrence.
One of the quarterbacks.
I remember. You
You
remember the flawless
chase?
chase? Everybody was chasing the triple logo, man.
Yep.
I know people who lost. You know, we're talking. They hit one of the best cards you could hit. We're talking Ant-Man RPAs to
Yep.
like 15, 10, whatever it is. They still lost money, more than half their money on that box, because they're chasing the one card that had the potential. I mean, Golden says it's 6 million. I don't.
I mean, I
it
think
hits,
it's
I
at
don't
one-
think it hits.
I think it's
6
at
million.
1.8 right now.
Yeah.
I think it'll go for like 3 to 4.
I think yeah,
3.
that's what that's the number I kept in my head. That I was like 3, 5, 4.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's wild.
Interesting.
Struck
But you
that
know,
loop.
yeah. So like 3, 5, 4. That's what I think the LeBron's probably going to be at. You know. But,
I mean, that's a sick card. Don't get me wrong.
oh, it's a great
you know.
card, but like the thing is, there's one of those cards.
Well, yeah, there's one of
so
them
you
right
know,
now.
after that got hit by, we're not gonna mention their names,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you know, after it got hit by that, you know, the product crashed.
It was over.
It was over. The chase was over. Yeah.
It's so crazy to me. I don't think wax prices can keep up. I don't think that, you know, collectors are getting. I think collectors are getting smarter.
100%.
But dude, it's so fucking crazy how much money there is in this hobby and how much people have lost. And it'll be interesting to see like this next stage of this hobby. If the nationals are bad, if it's a bad national for people, and like
That's
there's
gonna be
not-
an eye opener.
Atlantic City is gonna.
It's gonna be nuts.
I mean, that's the only national that has happened since AC where you can go there, you can go gamble your fucking life away and still somehow leave with money. Like, you could sell all your cards, go gamble in a casino, whatever. I feel like it's going to be a lot of moving pieces there. Like, a lot of people are going to... A lot of people are going to go all in on a lot of investments. A lot of people are going to gamble their money away and just try and, get rid of stuff really cheap.
I think you're right about that too, but there is a possibility that it is a little bit slower than people are expecting, and if that happens, we've not seen the bottom at all on this. And I'm not trying to be an alarmist or like be panicking, but like I think there is a real consideration.
The reason I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
East Coast. East Coast is the best coast for cards.
I mean,
I'm not saying fuck the West Coast, but you don't realize the East Coast is so much cheaper than the West Coast, and one to host the venue. And I want to talk about that too. We'll talk about that. But the reason I say East Coast is because where are all the big shows for the most part?
East Coast.
Yeah, it depends.
Okay, East Coast.
Central, Dallas, Chicago.
I heard Chicago. I was at not this past Chicago, the one before that, and I thought it fucking sucked. There was no foot traffic. I thought it was brutal. I didn't even make any deals there. I didn't feel like there's a lot of people walking around. The last one, I also heard it sucked. That happened this past week, and I heard it was bad.
I didn't know.
I neither did I, but that's what I heard.
Yeah.
Dallas, yeah, but has Dallas not also gone down too?
Dallas.
Yes.
So I've been going for the last year. I mean, I've enjoyed it. It's hit or miss.
But this last show, you were there, right?
Yeah. It was.
it?
It was okay. I think really what it was companies like Alt buying people out. And speaking about Alt, like the last year of them growing has been insane. Cause
I don't know if they have so much money and it makes no
that's
sense.
exactly it too.
They also lose a lot of money on their cards.
But they're gaining market share. Like, they're running weekly auctions. So are PWCC and I think Golden and Heritage. I don't know the other ones.
That's, Leland's is actually at the building right here. You've heard of Leland's?
Yeah.
Literally in the suite. Like, you can walk out and see their office.
So fucking funny.
But they're so low key. They could give two shits about fucking all the promotions that Golden
I didn't
do.
know that. That's so
They're
funny.
literally right there.
Okay.
One dude comes in here all the time. I wanted to ask you about that too. Like these auction houses. I know you do some buying on Alt.
Love Alt.
Where else do you buy? Golden?
Nope. I literally. So the reason why
Just Alt?
Dude, the money just goes so much farther there. Like, I've gotten to the point now, and I said this to you. In our
Buyer's
group,
premium sucks too.
It does suck. I've said it to you in our group chat before. I feel guilty buying on Alt now these days because I feel like the money that I'm putting in there is not going back to other collectors. But unfortunately, like the dollar goes farther there. I bought a Ronaldo Prism card 2 weeks ago for $15K. In Dallas, they had valued it at $35K to the guy when they bought it, and the only sale besides mine is a PSA 9 at $9K. So like, it probably is worth somewhere between like $20 and $30K. Where could I have gotten a better deal like that on Instagram right now? Like it's just so
Instagram,
crazy.
they want top dollar.
Yeah.
Tell you that.
So how do you feel about like? I know you just talked about Alt a little bit, but like these other auction houses. I know you see it. I know you pay attention.
Yep.
There's so much competition now, and like with Alt being like that, and also I've heard. I think like we're in a group chat together.
Yep.
Shout out. I don't even know what we call the group chat. Collector's Edition,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Shout out Collector's Edition group chat. They're like stopping buying for the most part. They're being super picky and selective now.
And you know what, they should be because they lost a ton of money, and even though they had I think like $100 million in investor money, dude, they had money that didn't even matter. Like if you spend $5 million, $10 million on bad investments where you gain a huge market share, that's just the price of doing business.
Yeah.
I don't blame them for being selective, and I think we've gotten to the point now where cards are no longer rare. They're becoming more common in auction houses. Like if you want to see
More auction houses too.
yeah, if you want to see a LeBron
More
Ultimate-
auction houses specifically for cards. Like
Yeah.
they're targeting that specific market.
But then you spread the money out more, which means there's a little less money to go into each house.
Dude, LeBron limited logos or Kobe limited logos or LeBron rookie Ultimate Collection autos, they're not rare anymore. They run at auctions, Golden, PWCC,
Exactly.
all every week, every 2 weeks. These cards aren't rare.
You know why though? They're trying to. Every house is trying to break that record that they previously set. They're like, it's a race. They're racing who's gonna get this top. What card's gonna beat that Wagner? What's the next Wagner? What's the next LeBron? What's the next
it's gonna be a Mahomes card or like Josh
Yeah,
Allen.
it's gonna be something like that.
So, if you could summarize the hobby right now, like the state of the hobby right now, in like one sentence, couple sentences, what would you say about the state of the hobby?
I think there's extreme fear, but the opportunity to make money long term is still here if you pay attention to it.
You got to be knowledgeable.
Yeah.
You got to know what you're talking about.
You have to be fearless right now. I'm not telling you to go spend your life savings on cards and go make some bad investments, but you understand that there's opportunity here, and maybe the days of flipping a card, next like 3 days after you get it are over, at least temporarily.
Yeah.
But if you buy something that is a safer kind of thing, a Mantle, Griffey, Trout, guys who are going to be, iconic legends of their sports, or LeBron, MJ, Kobe, like those guys, you will do fine longer term, but it might be a couple weeks, a couple months, it might be a year or two. You just have to be willing to be patient.
One thing I was going to say is, like, don't just know what you're buying first and foremost. Like, you can be like, oh, say you're buying Prism and so. You don't know anything. Let's just say, for example, David Mills.
Yep.
You don't know anything about football, but you're like, oh, I want to buy Davis Mills. He's a quarterback. He had a decent rookie year. I'm going to spend all my money on Davis Mills.
Yep.
So you go to a show, you buy all the Davis Mills, and that's fine.
Yep.
But, like, with no prior knowledge, if that's all you're going off, you don't factor in, oh, he's on the Texans. Wow, they won 2 games last year, 2 or 4 or whatever. You're not factoring it in. You're just hearing the hype around him, because there is hype around him. So, like, that's all I want to say is, like...
Hype will always outsell production.
Yeah.
Every single time, which is why prospects do so well.
Exactly.
Which is why I put some money into prospecting these days, because you know what, by the time I think the market turns around, those guys like Christian Hernandez, who I have a red refractor of, I think he'll be in AA, AAA, and it'll be time to sell, because he's already a top 75 prospect in baseball.
Exactly.
So Davis Mills, Christian Hernandez.
Yeah.
Prospect, quarterback prospect for the most part, on a shitty team. Cubs are also a shitty team. I have a Hernandez PSA 10 refractor.
Sick.
Guess I'm going to hold it.
Yeah.
But my question to you is, those 2 guys, quarterback and a prospect, Nationals coming up. Prospects, quarterbacks, what are you going after?
Quarterbacks. I think it's the easiest choice
market.
there.
Not just either or, but like, what are you buying?
Okay,
Obviously, you're going to look for them, but...
All right, well, I'm going to give you a third answer. I'm going to go for basketball, because every single showcase in that room is going to have quarterback stuff. There has been so much money invested in quarterback stuff over the last couple of months from big money dealers that every single table is going to have that. So
I'll have it.
Well, yeah, and you should. I'll have it too. But I try to be 2 sports ahead of like what's going on right now. So right now, dude, I'm buying basketball. I know the season's over. I don't really care. I'll wait for that off-season prices to come in.
You know what? People aren't buying basketball right now, and this is why I feel like I've been staying away basketball for probably like a year. And I used to do basketball almost exclusively, and that and baseball, of course.
Yeah.
But the basketball market, man, you could be at an all-star level and still not be relevant, like selling-wise. I've seen it.
Yep.
It's nuts. Like, I mean, and the dip, when you get knocked out of the playoffs.
Oh, it's massive.
Oh,
yeah.
people lose their ass. It's bad. Like when Ant-Man had a historic playoff. Not historic.
He still did very well.
But Ant-Man, he had
Celtics
great
suck.
playoffs,
It's
right?
Yeah.
Great playoffs. Whether you like Tatum or not, I'm a Celtic fan, so call me biased, whatever you want.
Sucked
I'm
in the
biased.
finals. Absolutely awful in the finals.
He played the most minutes of his career.
Yep.
I mean, the fatigue's a factor. You
Didn't
gotta,
show up.
he had the most
They're the worst
assists.
team. I mean, obviously. But
I mean, you know what I mean? Like, you can say what you want. He played the most minutes in all of the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the guy was tired. It's his first time ever getting the finals.
Leave Kobe out of it, though. That's all I'm saying. Leave Kobe out of it.
But he's got Kobe.
Again,
right?
but I'm not trying to give excuses, but I'm saying, like, Tatum stuff took a dive.
Yep.
And to me, that's kind of nuts. He's made, he's had all these playoff runs. He's 24. Granted, he hasn't won yet. But, like, dude, LeBron had his first 5 years, 6 years. He didn't make the playoffs.
I mean-
he didn't go to the finals.
So are you buying him at the National?
If I see a cheap Jason Tatum card and it's affordable, 100%. You
Okay.
can't tell him he's not a top 5.
Jason Tatum's a buy a month from now.
So
I'm just saying.
Yes or no?
Yes, 100%.
right after the finals,
What has he
when
proven not to be an investment?
I bought a Contenders cracked ice of him and
yeah.
flipped it right away.
Brings up Kobe too much.
Yeah, well, brings up Kobe too much. But
kinda weird.
I agreed with you in the fact that I was going to buy a card and hold it. That's when we made a trade
I
offer
mean,
that was worth it.
there's
but-
just like, I remember people were telling me like, oh, Devin Booker, blah, 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 Devin Booker, blah, blah, blah. Mark, again, one of the most important thing going into buying a card is market, man. You're talking about Phoenix compared to Boston.
Wait,
It's not even close. Go ahead.
remember the dude at the card show is like Julius Randle over fucking Jason
my
Tatum
God.
all day. Where's that guy?
Wait,
Check
what?
check our YouTube out. There's an actual guy who came up to my table, argued with me for about 20
We
30
put a
minutes.
poll up, too, and
Yeah, we
people
put a
actually
poll up.
voted
People voted
for
for
Julius Randle.
Who would they take?
That's
Their franchise guy. Julius Randle or Jason Tatum?
How old is Julius Randle? Like 28, and he's declining already?
I mean,
you
he
know.
got paid. So.
He did get paid, but still.
That's a real thing. You have to be worried about that.
But
You know.
Not-
all I'm saying is,
We
don't
will
let
not
the
be
recency
buying.
bias.
Not be buying Julius Randle at the National.
100%.
That's a fact.
Do not bring it to our table.
Back to the National, though.
Yeah.
I have a couple facts that I want to say. Well, not one of them's a fact. The National will never be back in Atlantic City again. Fact. Never going to happen.
You don't think so?
So with the hobby growing up, you know, blowing up and stuff like that, West Coasters do not want to come out here. Like Burbank, he's not coming out here.
Fair.
He has a lot of shit to bring.
Fair.
Other people from the West Coast are like, all right, Burbank's throwing a show, I'll go there. Dallas is 2 weeks before, I'll go there.
Yep.
But also, if it goes to the West Coast and people are like, oh, why doesn't it come to the West Coast? The reason it will not go to the West Coast is because the National has to be booked out 3 years in advance. There's no venues that are big enough that want to book out more than 6 months to a year in advance. So, like, for example, say it's a Lil Baby's going on tour. His tour is announced not like 3 to 6 months before he's going on tour. Not a year, not 2 years. There's no other really events that go on that are booked out that far in advance.
Okay.
So that's why some venues have a problem with that, because God forbid they're locked in for an amount now. Come 3 years later, somebody else could have booked that and put more money into it. So the West Coast, it could happen again, and there's going to be big news with the National. I can't really say it, like what's going on and stuff like
Chicago
that.
forever, basically.
Cleveland's also coming back.
Really?
100%. The
wow.
IX Center. So Cleveland fucking sucks. Cleveland's like
I didn't
awful.
have a chance to go because I think.
I wish it was in Cincy. Your guy's in Cincy. Cincy's dope. But Cleveland, you go to Cleveland, there's nothing to do. Nothing.
Was it 2017, 2016 the last time I was in Cleveland? Because
17.
Okay. So
16 was AC, then was Cleveland, then it was Chicago.
Chicago for 3 years in a row.
Might have been
AC was
Chicago.
canceled.
No, I think it was Jersey, Chicago, Cleveland, Chicago, back to Jersey, back to Chicago, and then Jersey.
Okay. Either way, but yeah, I've only been to Chicago for the National, except for this time coming
But
up.
the last time was on the West Coast, I think was in 01 or 03. It was in Anaheim.
Okay.
And that's like a spot that they would love to do it. But I don't think it's not going to happen based on the people that I've talked to.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, where are all the big shows? For the most part. East Coast. Dallas, you can't really... It's centralized, yes. But
Yeah.
you get the West Coasters and the East Coasters and the people centralized to go. But the National's a National. It's a different monster.
It's an event. It's a way bigger event.
Chicago, to me, is the best venue to have it in because of how it's set up. Dude, there's like 5 hotels within a mile radius of there.
I agree.
The airport is 2 minutes away. AC is a bitch to get to, and we live here in New Jersey. It's still an hour-and-a-half drive. There's no good airport to fly
All right,
into.
the airport thing, yes, I agree there.
It's going to be an issue, which, if you don't come to the National because you can't get a flight or you don't want to pay an Uber, well, then you shouldn't be there
But
anyway.
once you're there in AC, there's so much shit to do. You
True.
take your family to the beach. You don't have to leave AC.
Yep.
Chicago's not even Chicago. It's fucking Rosemont. So like people are like, all right, be safe in Chicago. Yeah, Chicago's not great, but you're not in Chicago. You're in like a suburb. It's Rosemont. It's not Chicago.
Fair enough.
Also, there's not, honestly, like right there, like I said, you're not in Chicago. There's not really much to do. You can go out to the food over there and whatever.
Yeah.
But the casino, the food, the nightlife is definitely way more appealing in AC, which is like a big part of why I think people are gonna have a good time there.
And
And I'm not
too.
definitely not being biased. I'm from Jersey. People will see when they're there. Dallas is fun too, but
I like Dallas.
different story.
Yeah.
Other than that, for the National, it's going back to Chicago. I think Cleveland's going to get announced soon. I think after this one is when they're going to announce the next, like where it's going to be.
Yeah.
I think they'll announce it for the next 2 years. But Chicago, Cleveland, I'd love Atlanta. Atlanta might be tough.
Atlanta will be fun.
I've heard people involved say Atlanta, Baltimore again possibly. Baltimore's not safe, but Baltimore happened in I think 2010 or 2012, and that was every year they say it's like the best National, but I heard that one was really good. I was too young. We didn't go to that, but that's what I've always heard. And then possibly West Coast. They've thought about Dallas, but Dallas already has a huge presence there, so I don't think so.
San Diego could be interesting, something like that.
Something like that, but like I said, they just have an issue.
Yeah.
It's got to be 3 years out.
They have a big ass convention center
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah.
But it'll be so interesting, man. I know that, we were talking about like some tips or tricks to the National too, which is I think a good segue into it. It's so funny that people don't really get it because National, the show itself is a 5-day marathon.
It's an event.
You
man.
have to be ready to go.
You're gonna be tired after day one.
No,
it's exhausting.
And whether you're set up as a dealer or you're walking,
or walking around, especially if you're walking around, you are going to be exhausted.
Yeah, and
I remember because I went to AC the first time, but when I legit went to Cleveland for the first time, set up, got a chance to walk around because there were a lot of people at the booth. I was mentally, physically, especially by even day two. Day one, day two,
Yep.
I was just drained.
Yeah,
It's a
it's a
lot.
lot.
It's overwhelming almost. Even if you're into all this high-end stuff, There's so much like, you know, you've been at a lot of big shows.
Yep.
Like the national, it's just different from a scale to where like you're at the point where, you know,
I'm gonna
there's
start.
so much stuff to look around at.
I'm gonna start ripping while we talk too, because we didn't get to rip yet.
You're gonna rip that. I'm gonna rip a hanger. These are the best bet in Prism, I think.
There you
Make sure you show the camera.
I would say the best piece of advice for someone who's never been to the national but like wants to go, if you have a backpack that actually like fits your cards and don't just like have all those travel briefcases, like there's like 30
Get a roll. I have a rolling bag.
I love
that.
my rolling case, but you know
You got
if you
the
don't,
rollers, man.
dude, my case is
Like the
$300.
nerds in high school.
Yeah.
My case is $300. It's the best thing I ever bought for shows. I love it. But if you just want to like go on the cheap, get a backpack and get like, you know, containers. Hold your cards in that because you're
Double
not.
Jags. I got ETN on the back, and then I have Boselli on the front.
There you go.
Hopefully that's a sign of Trevor Lawrence in the middle.
I know I'm not-
Jaguar sandwich. You know what I mean?
I know I'm not gonna pull anything, but if I do, I will show the camera. I'm just gonna get disappointed. Garbage.
All right. Well, let me do my hanger really quick. I got a Kyler. I'm gonna speed through the base because nobody cares about it. Wow, there's some cards with major damage in here. All
How
right, so
bad
we
is
got
it?
Joe Burrow.
Khalil Herbert, and then for those people who don't know, the hangers have the variations in them, so that's why I like them. So we got a Khalil Herbert rookie. So now we got the variation. It's a Panther. Streba Hubbard, so that's terrible.
That's not awful.
I mean,
got
it's
the-
not
they're the
awful, but as
worst.
far as
Hold it
investment
a little
goes.
longer for him.
Oh, sorry. Abrams, and then, yep, this is exactly what you don't want. You got a Noah Gray, Red Ice. It's a cool card. Exactly, Noah Gray. So,
What the?
oh, see, Noah Gray's gone now.
Just throwing at the
Noah
camera,
Noah
huh?
Gray.
I got
I threw it
it.
at the camera guy. Oh god.
Still nothing here. Other than that, David, you used to write for the
I
Giants.
did, yeah. Back, oh god, like 2016, 2017.
Sheesh, when they were still sucked.
Oh
but
no,
we're-
they're still back.
we're-
Don't worry.
Oh, Jamar Chase,
Oh,
orange
sick.
laser.
There you
Nice.
go.
All
I'll
right,
take it.
I'll take that team color.
Jamar Chase.
Yeah,
What do you think
fuck
that
you,
goes for
Casey.
right now? $30, $40.
40 maybe.
Probably 40, 50.
These are the
Team
box.
color?
Yeah. People for a receiver, he had a really great year.
No,
So.
Chase is awesome.
Yeah, I hit on the live. Since we go live for
He's-
breaks all the time, I hit the Jamar Chase RPA
Sick.
out of 10.
You don't like Chase?
He's no Darius Slayton
Oh my god.
or Kadarius
Or Amon
Toney.
St. Brown.
I mean, listen, Giants are very bad at
Fools.
drafting, so.
So what are your expectations for the Giants this year, being somewhat of a Giants expert? And fun fact, well, this is just a fact, not a fun fact. I hate the Giants.
Fair.
I can't stand them. I hate the Giants. I hate the Yankees.
Fair.
I hate their fans.
Fair, okay.
I'm not gonna say they're all pieces of shit, but
No, we
they're
are.
not
It's
great.
okay.
Kind of what he wants
No,
to
that's
say.
fair.
Last year when we had the other podcast, that didn't look as good as this.
Yeah, this is huge.
I recommended buying Danny Dimes simply because, and these were the facts, they spent money in the offseason last year.
Yep.
You're gonna rip that.
Now,
back.
Danny Dimes isn't awful. He's just never had fucking weapons.
Yep.
And I just believed in him. I think he had something. A New York market, a New York quarterback that people want to see win. Any quarterback in the New York market is going to sell, which is why Zach Wilson sells. Eli Manning still sells. Not crazy, but he has demand.
He was a winner at the end of the day.
Yeah,
He's probably going to be a Hall of Famer.
So what I thought was, I'm like, all right, this guy, all he needs to do is go out there and have a first good 4 games, and people are gonna start buying him.
Yep.
Because this shit was still cheap. Now it's his what, 5th year, 4th year?
4th year.
So 4th year he's going into.
He's at the league.
He's got an offensive
he's not
line.
Gonna be out of the league. That's not going to happen.
No.
He'll be a backup, or at least he'll be competing. Dude,
He'll be Mitch
He might be
Trubisky,
out.
but with a
correct
better arm.
answer. If Trubisky can still get a starting gig, or at least potential starting
Trubisky
gig.
won a playoff game,
Nothing.
So
in that.
what? Danny Dimes threw 5 touchdowns in I think 2 or 3 games. Like one
but
against
he's
the
never won
Lions,
more
one-
than 5 games.
But
so.
winning is only a quarterback stat when it matters. Like
Yep.
for the hour.
Eli Manning's
for
a
the argument,
500 quarterback his career.
Oh, he's a mid.
But he's a
extremely
Hall of Famer because Super Bowls. But
Yep.
we can get into that if you want. But
Oh, we're not going to dive into
Hall of
that.
Fame.
I extremely.
But my
believe
question
on
to you is, Danny Dimes coming into this year, shit's still cheaper than honestly. I think it's about the same than it was last offseason.
that's so funny.
Do you think the Giants are going to do anything this year? The division still sucks. The Eagles got better,
Correct.
but other than that, what do you think?
Dude, it'd be so interesting to see. I don't know if Daniel Jones can be a franchise quarterback at all. I think he could be someone who, if the Giants win 7, 8, 9 games, I think they still draft a quarterback regardless. But it might be someone who.
If they don't make the playoffs, I think they draft
Well,
somebody.
But if they're healthy, the O-lines, they put money into it. Saquon's healthy. Galladay, the receivers, the weapons, the
You and I-
defense.
Dude, you and I had the same amount of touchdowns last year as Galladay. So, like, it doesn't. He can't be any worse.
I'm a Lions fan. I love Galladay.
Yep.
He's only good with Stafford. he gets no separation, and he had the most contested catches in the NFL.
Yep.
Because Stafford fucking slings it. Danny Dimes is not Matthew Stafford. He doesn't put it in tight windows.
Jones, I think, had he was a top 5 quarterback when it came to deep passes last year, I think, or at least for a certain amount of time. I don't really know.
Can't get separation, you're not going to do good.
Yeah, I know. If the Giants don't make the playoffs next year, I could see Jones playing them out of like a top quarterback. Because I think next year's draft class is like 3.
Oh,
4,
it's going to be
5 guys.
deep at quarterback.
But they say that every year until like,
No, but they did not say this year.
they
Not
say it
at
every
all.
other year.
Let's go Lions, though.
Yeah.
Jared Goff,
This is
baby.
one of the worst. This last draft was one of the worst drafts I've ever
They
seen.
could Jones could play them out of a top quarterback, which would be interesting if that happened.
Yeah.
Because if they go 6-11 and Jones looks okay, they're fucked.
Well, to be totally fair, Jones got lucky because there was no clear-cut quarterback this year.
Yep.
I guarantee you, if Bryce, whatever this,
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young. If any of these guys came out this year, Giants would have won a quarterback. I guarantee it. The fact that
he
Kenny
was
Pickett
still
went,
there.
that's what I'm saying. If he came out this year, I think he got lucky in the way where he would have been out of a job. Like, he wouldn't be playing right now. Because next year, I have a guy I'm eyeing down. You guys feel free to look him up. Will Levis, this kid for Kentucky. He's a big kid, 6'4". He led them to their first 10-win season in however many years.
Okay.
And he projects out as, big arm talent. Like, Josh Allen played for Wyoming.
Every quarterback who is like athletic and
They're going to get the Allen comparison for a while. But, I actually saw it, He threw, 34 touchdowns, 14
When the
interceptions.
fuck did you watch him?
Will Levis?
Yeah.
I mean, after I pulled his auto, I obviously did my research. But,
Bowman University.
yeah,
whatever it's
Bowman
called.
University, buy it up, man, let me tell you. But anywho, moral of the story is, that's a whole other topic. We can talk about Bowman U next week. I think that's a great
So
investment.
you're buying Will Levis. You're buying Will Levis.
100%.
Nationals
Dude,
coming
look
up.
at it this way. We talked about the delay in projects coming out.
He might be a starting quarterback by the time his Prism stuff comes
Yeah,
out.
but
That's
so
true.
my point is, we ended with products like rookie QBs. They go up all the time.
Yep.
And how products have been delayed.
Yep.
Like what's it called, Kenny Pickett, even CJ Stroud is in the product as well. It's their best. It's gonna be their best cards for years. So
I also just want to call out that we have talked only about quarterbacks in the football market because.
only thing that matters.
Thank you. I just want to say it because no one else would have mentioned it.
Mm-hmm.
We said to Jamar Chase to have a blast. And
It's
that
a cool card,
blaster,
don't get me wrong.
Still lost money. So
I mean, maybe lost money. We'd have to check, but going back to the white noise conversation, there is so much white noise, especially in football. Quarterback stuff is the only thing that matters, and I know that might upset people, but it's true.
It's very true. With that being said, though, because we have to wrap it up in a minute. One last question.
Yeah.
Nationals coming up. We already talked about that. We talked about who you're buying, but right now, leading up to the National, what do you want to invest in long term? Forget the National. Forget what's coming up. What do you want to invest in long term? A card that a year from now, you'll look back on and be like, all right, this shit I'm not going to lose money on, and I expect it to go up. Player, card, particular, anything.
I mean, the cop-out answer is Kobe, LeBron, MJ, Brady.
I wouldn't even say that.
Dude, I just think that stuff is so safe these days, and whether I buy it on an alt or eBay or Instagram, whatever, someone's gonna trade me more value for it. I put up a story yesterday talking about how the 3 things that matter in this hobby is people have gotten smarter. I hate when people don't answer DMs, and we all have
That's very true.
We all have an agenda, and my agenda, truthfully, is to gain value in a deal. And whether it's a Mantle card
pretty
or
simple.
Brady or whoever, if I get a good deal out of it, and you get a card you want, I'll move it to you.
Yeah.
So I think a year from now,
it's got to make sense for both parties.
if I held up Brady contenders, which I've owned 2 now, thankfully, and I moved both for more value, I would be fine with it. Whether it went down 5K or went up 20K, I'd be happy with it.
Yep.
We'll see what happens, though.
I know personally, if I'm buying stuff to sell a year from now, I'm buying Hall of Famer guys that not even high end because I try and stay away from the big cards. But I'm buying Hall of Famers like Jim Brown, Larry Bird, Bill Russell, guys like that I know are
no reason to go down.
Yeah, you hate to say it, but could potentially die over the next year.
Mays,
Willie Mays, another one. Simply because at that point they're gonna go up, but you also know you're not gonna lose it. It's only really gonna go up, stay the same. But shit like that doesn't really necessarily pop up as much anymore. But anything in the 100 to 1,000, I wouldn't even say 1,000, 100 to 700 range is what I'm buying because not a lot into it. You're gonna make your money back.
No, and I think you're right. One thing I would add to that is that if you buy a Hank Aaron rookie, let's say, a little bit more than $700, I think they're at $1,500 to $2,000. You wait for that next PSA 9, PSA 10, PSA 8, whatever sale, and everything goes up. Because
Yeah.
once that new like all-time high is hit, everything goes up regardless. Doesn't matter. Just a waiting game.
I agree.
All right.
I guess that's pretty much all we got. David, if you have anything else to add real quick, now's your time.
No, listen, I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yes, sir.
I love this. This was awesome.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. I figured you were good to get on here because you've been in cards. You do something a little different than what I do. You mostly focus on the high end and stuff. And I wanted people to get a perspective from someone who's been to the National, been to shows, been on Instagram, been around a while. It's a little different when you talk to someone that's newer in it or, you know, as opposed to someone that's been in it a while. So, like, you're someone I respect and someone that I would ask for advice on certain things.
Yeah, and listen, that's very mutual too. Like, you understand a lot of things I don't. You understand how to run a shop and a business and how to do like all these crazy things. So, you know.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah,
And
well,
one
that's
thing
true.
I want to add, if you want to be a guest on the Santiago Sports Podcast, shoot us a DM and why you want to be on the pod and what do you want to talk about. And DM us to Santiago Sports. And if you have good content and you're somewhat local and you want to be on the podcast, shoot us a DM.
Local only. We
Local
got to be
only.
right here in this area. I'm not doing no fucking video podcast or any of that. I don't care who you are.
You heard it here first. But shoot us a DM if you're interested.
Yeah. And shout out to our sponsors as well. COLLX.
And Wager Attack, my man.
COLLX and Wager Tech. Great people behind those apps. Make sure you go check them out. Make sure you follow us on Instagram. Subscribe to the channel.
We're live right now at break, so
Yeah, we're literally live right now ripping. Kayla's back there ripping some optic contenders which dropped.
shout out Card Hunters.
So we appreciate you guys. You're going to be doing this every week. And see you later.
See you later.
Peace.